This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Mastery, and we are in session 6. For the last couple of sessions, we've been walking through our Shopify store. We've been walking through the things that we need to do in our store, and now we're actually going to not necessarily step away from our Shopify store, but we're going to look at other things that we can be doing in our Shopify store. Hopefully your store is at least 90% done. I'm hoping that you'll all show your stores when this session is over, or maybe the next session. We'll be able to take a look at everybody's stores and see what's happening in their stores. So for today's session, okay, so we did talk about a few integrations in session 5, integrations that you can do with your store. Some of those being integrations for, like if you're going to do drop shipping, then you might have an integration with some software so that you'll be able to drop ship items. Maybe your shipping integration, maybe fulfillment is being done by Deliver or another company. So you have those integrations that you have to think about. I think I mentioned ShipBob and a couple of others. We did talk a little bit about sourcing. We're going to talk about sourcings today, and a couple of other things that you can consider when doing product research. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to talk about your questions. I do want to go back, and we are going to look at the apps. The one thing we didn't get to finish was we need to finish the apps. So we're going to look at apps today. And then we're going to talk about Keepa, bundles, social signals, reverse sourcing strategies. So we're going to cover those. So in the Shopify apps, when you log into your Shopify store, there's a couple of places to add apps to your store. These are apps that you can use to help simplify things. So one of the apps that we talked about was streamlining or automation for your store. There's integration apps that are available with Amazon and eBay and Pinterest, and we looked at all of those, or we talked about those. Now we're going to talk about other apps that can help improve aspects of your store, automate different things about your store, or help you to get more traffic to your store. And we also talked about fulfillment apps like I think I mentioned Dropify, and then there's Spocket and Orbolo. We'll look at those today and see what the App Store has to say about them. And we're going to look at some other apps. I do have a document. Let me just pull that up real quick. It's for just a second. All right, floating pan controls. Okay. What's going on with my screen, but okay. All right. So I do have a couple of apps that, and this will be in your back office, apps that you can use to help you get more traffic to your store. That's always one of the big things. And these are like the top 25 apps. What you're going to find is as we go look at the apps, there's going to be paid ones and there's going to be free ones. So when we're talking about traffic to your store, traffic in the form of natural or SEO. So when we went through the process of thinking about our store name and our store design, our store brand and things like that, like when people come to the store, what is the thing they're going to see? We talked about naming the images that we upload to our store and the names, the titles that we give the products that we're going to sell. The titles that you have in your Shopify store are not going to be anything like some of the titles that you see on Amazon or eBay or any of that, but you do have some meta tag places where you can add some of those keywords that are going to help your product be found. And you can add some of those tags depending on what type of store you have. So if you're a store that's selling pet supplies, if your store is selling, I don't know, hair care products, if your store is selling, I don't know, tennis shoes or some other print on demand, something, then again, you're going to put that in the title of your store under the meta tags. And I think we covered that in session 3, maybe. So don't forget that you have all these other places that are going to help you to get some natural organic traffic. But in looking at this list, one of the biggest things that people talk about is they're, trying to get their store found and how to get more traffic to their store and how to not spend a bunch of money on ads. So those things that I gave you, which is the title, thinking about the branding of your store and what you populate in the meta tags, is going to potentially help you be found more naturally in the search engines. um, titling your images, thinking about the description of your product, your pictures of your product, um, all of that stuff. Those are things that are going to potentially help you be found. Because again, if it's a product that is in demand, then customers are going to be looking for that naturally. If you think about some of the stuff that's coming up, like Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So again, depending on what you're selling, you may want to go in and update some of the descriptions of some of your products. So again, that they can be found more naturally, more organically in the search engines. You could also offer Valentine's Day specials. Because again, if people are going to be buying, they're going to be buying it now so that the item is hopefully here by the time Valentine's Day hits. Or thinking about other things that are coming up, like the Olympics is happening right now. So that's a little too close. But if this was a few weeks ago, then having those products listed and ready to go and offering those specials are still a good opportunity. So these types of tools can help you. We're going to go to the Shopify App Store, and we're going to look at some more apps. So you'll find this list in your back office. So you can just do a search for Shopify apps. And then once you type in Shopify apps, if you're logged into your account, that's fine. That way, if you decide this is an app for you, then you can attach it to your store. But if you're not really sure, some of the things that you might do a search on inside of the Shopify App Store is one, traffic, because that's the big thing that people are looking for. People are trying to get more traffic to their store. And then as you go through and you see what the list is, you decide which one of these is what you're really looking for, or maybe there's an app that fits in a couple of different categories. The first couple of slots are going to be ones that people have paid. So I always try to go beyond the paid and kind of look and see what are some of the common apps that people are installing. And what are some of the ratings for the apps, something that we talked about before, and what's the cost? So again, this is one of those apps. It looks like it's been downloaded 3,912 times, and it's a free app. So if you want to know what this app does, or this one, then you can click on it. They'll typically have a video here where you can see what they're talking about, what this app is going to do for your business. There's also some information down here, and then you'll see some additional information down here. One of the things that I like to do, as I mentioned before, is I like to go down to the ratings, and I like to see what it is that these 91 people didn't like about this app. There's a bunch of people that have great things. I will go read a couple of the reviews that are the lowest scoring, and a couple that are the second lowest scoring, and then I'll go up here and read some of the higher ones. That will potentially help me make a decision on whether or not I feel like, after reading this information up here based on what it says this app is going to do for my business and what I need it to do, whether or not this app is for me. Because again, if they're having issues right now, it could be software related, as Shopify is having their developers develop for Shopify 2.0. There might be some kinks in 1.0. So if there's some kinks in 1.0, this may not be the app for me right now while they work through the kinks. If they're like old bad reviews, then I'm going to read just in case, so I can potentially be prepared for what challenges I might have. The majority of the time, I will tell you that those people who have apps or who created apps, those developers that create them, if you run into an issue, they are pretty close to responsive. So there's potentially always a way to get in contact with them if you have problems, because if their app is performing badly, Shopify is not going to let them stick around for long. Okay. So an app can help support the look and feel of your store, can offer specials for your store. Like an example, like you might see that there's an app that will highlight the free shipping. We know that when we were setting up our store, we could put the free shipping for orders over $50 or over $35 or something like that. Well, there might be an app that enhances that, maybe changes the color of it, makes it flash or pop up on the screen a little bit better. And so these are things that are going to potentially either help the performance of your store, help get more traction on your store, help your store look more attractive to other people or draw people to your store, and help showcase some of the products So different apps do different things. And so you want to, again, watch if the video is available. Not, I would say at least 85% of the apps actually have a video. So I would watch the video, read the text. Like this one says, it's going to help increase your sales, save you on marketing spend, so you don't have to spend as much on marketing, and help you to reach new customers. They got some graphs down here to kind of highlight what they do. And so, and the impact that it's going to be, this clearly they've been around for a while. So it says 2018 styles. And again, I always read what they have to say about what the feedback is. So you can come down, look at what it all says that it's going to do for you. This is so important to know what the app is going to do for you if you're trying to get traffic. So you'll see that in the traffic listing, because this is what the search is. We've got a couple of different traffic options. You think about what your focus is going to be, what you need. Like, I want to improve what about my store? So, or I want to simplify, automate what about my store? So conversions, probably one of the biggest things is I want to convert people once they come to my store. So this would potentially mean that there might be pop-ups that show up or showcases that show up so that when people come to the store, because people's attention spans are very short, they want a store that they look really nice. The images for the products look really nice. It's easy to navigate, and that this is something that I'm truly, truly interested in. Versus, I'm just looking around on the internet and I wasn't really interested in that in the first place. Dog lovers, if you're doing a pet Shopify store, again, what can I do to improve the conversions for dog lovers? So I can click on conversions. I can go see what apps are available. And some, as I mentioned before, like some of them are going to do all of these things or multiple things. So this one is about free traffic and advertisement. This one is around social proof, so helping you get more social proof. If you don't already have all of your social assets, we talked about your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and all of that, this might be a great opportunity to get that stuff active so you can do a little bit better job of increasing your social presence. This one is to help boost sales, ad exchange. So you want to read these and take a look at what they say that they will do for you and figure out if this is for you. I will tell you one last tip. I try not to look at anything that's like below 4.5 or 4.6. I'm also looking for things that it's been used a little bit. So maybe I'm going to only work with apps that have over 100 ratings, meaning reviews, sorry. And so if it has over 100 reviews, that's great. If it doesn't have over 100 reviews and it's above 4.6, then I might want to wait and come back and let's just see how this little app is doing. If I really feel like the description that they've given for the app is something that's going to help my store, then I will read the negative reviews, which is what I told you. I'll read the negative reviews and just see what people are complaining about to try and figure out, okay, is this app for me? Is this not an app for me? So this was a review that came up in September of 2021. The app didn't work at all for me. They responded. So that is also helpful because, again, this app is trying to get some traction. They're trying to get more people to come and look at their app and potentially download it, because that's going to improve their relationship and their trustworthiness with Shopify. So it looks like they're very responsive. Those that maybe have around 5,000 reviews, you may not see that whole response back from the developer. So pay attention to the ratings if you feel like one of these apps is going to do something that's going to help you in your business. So I'm going to go backwards. Traffic is one of the main things that people are looking for. Another thing that people are looking for is marketing. How can I market my products, simplify, automate the marketing of my products? So again, as you look at marketing, 944, that's the number of apps that are available that have the classification of marketing on the Shopify App Store. And I might focus on those that are free. So if I isolate it to marketing and free, this gives me all of the free apps, and I can go and look and see if this is an app that might work for me. So Klaviyo is very popular for Shopify. Just so you know, it is extremely popular. I can't believe they have a 4.2 though. Wow. Okay, so I was not expecting that, but it is a popular app for email marketing. So marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, SEO, all of those things. OmniSend definitely was rated high. This is the one that we have, which is OmniSend, but not trying to sway you to do one or the other. Go do your own research. And so you might want to see which one is going to work best for your business. So when I go to, let me just go over to Klaviyo. Like I said, most of the time they'll have like a video over here. And then they'll have some information down below about what they do. So you can expand on the description. Integrates with Facebook advertising. So if you're running Facebook ads, Recharge, Zendesk, Swell Rewards, Smile.io, Aftership. It talks about all of some of the things that it does for you, and it also gives you information on the pricing. So free up to 250 contacts. And then after that, SMS free texting for up to 50 contacts. So when let me just give you one little tip. You can have a small customer list, but if that's small, it's okay to have a small customer list. If the customer list is loyal, that is game changer for you. Because if they're loyal, they'll recommend your store, or they'll share your store on their social media, or they might tell their family and friends, yeah, I got this shirt from blah, 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 or I got these socks from blah, blah, blah. So the things that we talked about in the last session was like the customer experience. When they get your item, if you are shipping it yourself or you're using fulfillment service, like what's the experience? Because having a small email list, even though it's like, okay, I can't see, going with the free and only having 250. When you first start off, you're not going to have a lot of customers. But making sure that customer list, their customer experience with you is really great. That's going to help you and your business on your journey. Okay. And also, sharing your information on social media, making sure that you set up your social media assets. So don't be surprised. There are people that have an email list of like 200 people or 250 people, and they may sell products that have a $50 margin or a $100 margin on it. So if they get a few sales every single month, they're fine. It's okay. So think about that. And it may be that you're not always selling like physical products like shirts, socks, whatever, toys for kids, pet supplies, whatever. You can also use your Shopify store for services. So are you offering any services, selling any service, have any high ticket products that you're selling? And you can use your Shopify store for that. So which app is going to work best for you based on what type of Shopify store that you're building? Because for me, because I'm in e-commerce, I think about physical products all the time. But I always forget that there are people that actually have Shopify stores that are service-based. And there's other features that are available in the setup for those service-based customers. So read the reviews and check to see which one of these you feel like is going to work for you. Now, how many apps should you attach to your store? When you're ready to install the app, of course, you're going to log in and you can go to the app section and install the app. How many apps should you have installed? Some people, I would definitely not install more than 15 apps, because the more apps you install, the code for those apps, especially with there being different app designers, meaning people who developed or designed the app, could potentially impact the performance of your store. So an example would be, instead of your store coming up in less than 1 second, your store has a 2-second delay or hesitancy, or it spins for like 2 seconds. Well, again, the attention span of online shoppers is very short. So if it spins or hiccups, then they might be deuces, I'm out of here. So think about that as you're going through this process to ensure that whatever you do for your store, whichever apps you decide you're going to install, figure out the number of apps that you think are going to work for you. Do the research first. So if you feel like I need all of these features, I need I need to improve my SEO. I need to reduce my ad spend. I need to have an email marketing solution. I need to be able to have promotions and sales. I want to be able to create virtual bundles. Then do research on all the apps that offer those features. And then, you can do the free. I would encourage you to start with the free over the paid. And then decide, of those apps, if it comes up with 30 apps, whittle it down to no more than 10. I mean, 15, don't do more than 15 for sure. But try to stay around 6 to 10 apps that you're going to install. And that includes your integration. So if you've got an eBay, Etsy, Pinterest, shop, shipping integration, you want to factor those in as well. And there are some of those integrations that actually have marketing features inside of them. So you might see for Facebook shops that there's the Facebook shop app, or a couple of Facebook shop apps also handle like Facebook ads and Facebook marketing and social sharing. So if that's the case, maybe this is the app for me because it has more features. It does more of what I need. So I can take these other 3 apps off my potential target list. But review the apps first. Write down what you think you need in your business first. And the only way you're going to know that is at the beginning, the very first session, we talked about the look and feel of your competitor's store. What are some of the features? What happened when you first brought up your competitor's store? And it doesn't have to be a direct competitor. Maybe it's a related store. So maybe you're selling dog leashes and the related store was pet supplies. So we're looking at 2 or 3 pet supplies because there isn't a pet leash store to look at. What were some of the things that popped up on the pet supply store? What were some of the things you noticed about their listing? What were some of the things that you felt like, okay, this is pretty cool when you see the look and feel of the store? Some of it may not be noticeable at the beginning. Maybe it's something on the back end, the checkout experience. What did you notice about the checkout experience? We're not going to do a real checkout, but maybe a fake checkout. What other things about the page? So if you find that there's a few things about that store that you like, you're going to make a note of those things as you prepare to enhance or build out your store, add more features, more functionality, more abilities. You're going to come and look for apps that do some of the things that you saw. Okay. So marketing for sure, you should have some type of marketing or conversion or SEO. You should have some type of traffic app. So a traffic solution, a marketing solution, any of your integrations for your social media, not always for social media, but for some of your things that, like I mentioned, Facebook shops, so that at that same time, I can use the Facebook ads feature. So I want to find an app that handles both, or Facebook posts, again, handles both, those types of things. So write that on your list of things to do. If you didn't already kind of think through that at the beginning, that's the reason why I said, go look at a competitor store. And then what are you trying to accomplish? So if your store is complicated in its name and or complicated in what it sells, your audience, your avatar is out there somewhere. You have to make sure that you're marketing to them based on how they're going to find your store in the first place or find what it is that you're selling. So an avatar, I'm trying to think, people that love tiny dogs. So that's a specific niche down audience. And they may be searching for things based off of a brand because, again, what types of tiny dogs, like what's the name of that, not brand, but what's their name? So there may be terriers or kind of small dogs, and I don't know all the small dogs. I'd have to Google them. But again, you're going to know that information, have that research available to you, so that when you get ready to create ads or use a tool for targeting, does it have the ability to enhance your listing so that those people that have those little tiny dogs, like Chihuahuas are tiny dogs, does it have the ability for me to be able to target that specific audience? Do I know where that audience hangs out? Is there some type of forum or social Facebook group or pages that particular audience might like? So if I'm going to go do some marketing, I need my app to target those particular either Facebook pages or Instagram pages or groups or Twitter pages that they might follow. I want to make sure that I get an app that's going to help me find that audience and put my product in front of them. Okay. So write down what you think you need and then come over to the App Store and start reading a few, and don't pick more than 10. So if you're selling on eBay and you want to do some eBay integration, if you're selling on Walmart or Amazon, you want to do some integration there, look at those apps first where you want to do integration with your store. And then after you've done the integration checklist, then come back and actually go through the apps that are not directly integration related. So Amazon integration, eBay, Shopify, Walmart, those are all Etsy, those are all integration related. Your ShipStation, Deliver, those are all integration. These are features that you're trying to add to your store to help your store either be found, enhance your products. So those are separate. Okay. So your app list is a total collection of integration related apps and apps that provide solutions to your store. You can also reach out to on some of these apps, like if you're reading it and you're not really sure what this thing is going to do for me, like, so I had a class, someone asked about bundles. So I'm going to go ahead and type in bundles because they wanted to be able to create virtual bundles and they wanted some software that's going to help with inventory management around virtual bundles or either promoting or listing. So this is upsell, product bundles, mix and match, volume discounts. Then you've got some more. And so you can see like this has got 451 reviews. This is 252. This one has got 221. So this one is all about product bundles, combo, bundle builder, kits. So if you want to not necessarily create bundle listings in your store, you want to use an app to automatically build bundles for you and then showcase those bundles for you automatically, then this might be the app for you. So I would watch the video, come over here, watch the video. I would read what it says that it does, come in here, read what it says that it does, and then definitely go look at the customer ratings. Price matters, but go look at the customer ratings and see what they have to say, especially the negative ones. See if this is something for you or not. And then this may be an app. So if you've already found 5 integration apps, then you're going to find 5 non-directly integration related apps. Okay. And Dropify is another app that you add to your store. Dropify is like automate your order fulfillment, or Burlo automate your order fulfillment. It also automates importing listings into your store. So instead of manually creating listings, those are apps that do that. So I think they have a great video. Dropify. That's an integration app. Dropify. You can come and watch their video. It tells you exactly what they do and how they help your store. This is an app that we have. I don't pay that much though. And their prices have gone up. Wow. Yeah, their prices have gone up. And then Burlo has a free version, does very similar stuff to Burlo. I did not spell that right. Burlo. Yeah, I go clear it out first. There we go. So if you're doing drop shipping, you can come check out the app. I can't believe they don't have a video. So you can come and see what it says that the app does, or you can go directly to their website if you want to. Dropify has more features than Burlo, but Burlo is a very common one that people use because they have a free version. You see that they have a free version of the app, and then they have a paid version of the app. And you can go directly to their website. I think they have marketing videos on their website. Another one that does integrations is Spot. Yeah. They have a video. Yep, they do. So you can look at their video. They have a boatload of reviews as well. Watch their video. Look at some of the features that it says that they will do for you to help you with your store. and then you can decide that as well. So you get your integration apps, and then after you get past your integration app list, then those things are going to help your products be seen, conversion, marketing, um, email marketing, any of those. Go look at those apps and see if this is for you, and then you add them to your store. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, where I go to add these features to my store, and when I log into my account, I can add the email marketing over here under marketing. I can also go to apps, and then I can also go to integrations. So I can go under settings and look at integrations. So there's a couple of different ways in which you can attach an app to your store. Okay. So a tool that can potentially help you with your sales, traffic, finding products that are moving is Keepa. I like Keepa. Keepa gives you some data. The data that it gives you is based off of Amazon and eBay. It is just Amazon and eBay. So it's not necessarily intended for Shopify, but what it can do, like for me, how I use it, is that I will find a product that is already moving very well, like on Amazon, if I'm doing product bundles. I'll find a product that is moving very well on Amazon and maybe build a bundle around that. If my Shopify store is focused on holiday bundles or Mother's Day bundles for women, bundles for kids, bundles for him, bundles like automotive. And so everything I sell is automotive related bundles, like bundles around repairs to your car, like they already sell the roadside, what was it, emergency kits. You see those, a lot of those get sold during Mother's Day, just so you know. So when you open it up, that emergency roadside kit has a bunch of stuff. It's got flares, it's got jumper cables, it's got fix a flat, it's got a bunch of different stuff in it. That's a great bundle that already exists and in itself. And if you want to build that from scratch, you can build that from scratch, or you can white label it and sell it on your store under your store brand. But there might be something else that you could sell with that. So maybe that, and it has a flashlight in it, and I forget everything else that's in it. So that's automotive related, and that might be something you target for Mother's Day, selling that product. But you maybe want to add a virtual bundle to that. Maybe another virtual bundle that you could, another item that you can add that's virtual might be, I'm trying to think. They have those bright lights, because there's a flashlight that's included. Those bright lights that will light up a whole area of your car, like especially if you get stranded at night. So maybe you're selling those lights, and then you sell the emergency roadside kit with it. Then you can, you can see which one of those two is the product that's selling the most or has the better traction. Keepa's going to give you that information. You'll be able to see, okay, is it the light that's going to shine onto the car, especially if you get stranded at night, that is going to be the better fit? That's going to get more sales, or is it the actual roadside emergency kit? Which one of those two is getting more sales? And Keepa is going to tell me that information. And then I can make a decision from a sourcing standpoint. I can go do research to find people that are selling those things. When I create my listing, I will know what I'm going to showcase. And maybe I'm going to use an app for my Shopify store. I'm going to sell these two products separately, but I'm also going to allow I'm going to allow my store to showcase them as a bundle, because again, you don't get that super bright light with your emergency kit. You get a flashlight that's in the emergency kit, and it's not a big one. So selling that separately, these are all things that are automotive related. If my store is automotive themed, I can find those products that are actually moving very well. So the theory is, if it's moving well on Amazon, it's definitely going to move well everywhere else. If it's in demand and it's spiking and it's in the Amazon top 100, then it's going to be something that you could potentially showcase in your store, because people are organically looking for that specific thing. It's already in the Amazon top 100 for automotive. They're looking for this thing. So give yourself an opportunity to get a leg up and find out what's already moving on Amazon. Another way to kind of look at some of this data is like I go Google Amazon top 100, and then I will search related products, see if I can source those products directly. Maybe those are things that I can do an integration so that I can sell them inside of my Shopify store. If this is a specific themed Shopify store, if it's a generic store, that's different. But if it's a themed store, we'll stick with automotive. I'm going to go look at Amazon top 100 for automotive. And then from there, I'm going to use the Keepa charts to figure out when are these types of products being sold the most. I can use that information from Keepa to make some decisions around my marketing for my Shopify store. Maybe the sales start to spike around March and April because people want to get them for their mothers for Mother's Day. So I can see in the charts that the sales are going up March and April. So that means for my store, that means that there's an online presence or online searches for this particular product go up exponentially around that window. So I'm going to do something with my store to showcase, market, sell, or maybe I'm going to email my list or whatever. It'll help you to be able to make more targeted decisions over time as you're looking at that traffic. You'll have some data that comes out of your Shopify store reports as well. But again, if you're trying to figure out what to sell, Keepa can help you with figuring out what to sell and when's the best time to sell those things or the best time to showcase them. So Keepa is a pretty cool tool. It's not terribly expensive. They do have an annual cost that you can pay. And again, the data is 100% based off of Amazon and eBay. I think they are coming out with a version to incorporate Walmart as well. But again, how you use that is you can use that to help make better decisions in your store, improve your sourcing strategy, improve your marketing strategy because of the data that you're seeing, if the sales are going up. You can also, let me just say this. If you're not really sure that Keepa is giving you what you need, you can also go to Google Trends and then you can type out emergency roadside kits or whatever the name of them is, because I'm probably not saying it right, but that's the way I think of it in my brain. So you can go to Google Trends and also see the spikes there. When is this thing selling? When are people looking for it? That's when I'm going to showcase it. That's when I'm going to also email my list and market my list to try and get more organic traffic. And if I created a Facebook group around automotive, then I'm also going to showcase those particular products more frequently and increase the prevalence of those items during that window in which it says, oh, there's a spike. So there's a spike in the fall and there's a spike around Mother's Day. Those are the two times. The other data that Keepa gives you is a bunch of different things around price drop, price increase. Whether you want to stay competitive with whatever Amazon or eBay is doing, it's up to you. You want a price. I always say my price is my price, but it doesn't hurt for me to know what competitors are doing. I just have to make sure that my listing shows up, that I do a good job of making sure that people can find me organically. You might also like have an integration with Google Shopping so people can find it there, because if they're doing Google searches, they can find your products there. So this is going to give you, an idea of what's happening with the particular items that you might be selling, what the data flow is, the frequency and all that other stuff. So even though you have a Shopify store, you could use an app like this to help you make some better data-driven decisions. And again, you have reports in the back office of your Shopify store. But again, if you're early in the game, you don't have enough data on your Shopify store to use those reports effectively. So this is a little bit of what it looks like. I got to take a newer picture because this picture is so grainy. So I will take a newer picture and upload it. But basically, it's giving you some information about the price drops, the price increases, inventory levels. That may or may not matter to you. It could be relevant if people are searching for an item, but the inventory levels drop drastically around this time. This might be an opportunity for you to increase your ads during this window because inventory levels drop. So again, there's a lot of data that comes with the Keepa charts. Another tool that could help you based on what type of store you have, based on how you plan on doing marketing of the products that you happen to be selling, is again another Amazon tool. It is DS Quick View. And it's going to give you some information about the ranking of a particular item. Again, could I get this from Google Google searches, yeah, I can get this from Google. I can go directly to Amazon and look up a couple of these things. So you can use a tool like this to help you, again, make data-driven decisions and or add marketing, targeted marketing decisions. It can also potentially help you with when, like Keepa, it can help you with when should I, make sure I'm listing this if I'm running a Facebook fan page. When should I list this and when should I offer specials for it or discounts for it? Because my price might be better than what some of the listing prices are that are on Amazon. So then people might come to my store. I got to get them on my list and continue to market to them after the fact and keep them off of Amazon. That's the goal. Camel, more historical data research. It is based off of Amazon. So again, you're indirectly, one of your competitors could potentially be Amazon. You are a different type of store, but it doesn't mean that you can't use some of the tools that are out there, some of the free tools that are out there, especially to help you make better data-driven and product-related decisions based on the type of store that you have. And then this is the Jungle Style estimator. Helium 10 also has an estimator Chrome extension as well. Not an estimator, sorry. It has a Chrome extension. That's a free Chrome extension. So the thing about the Jungle Scout, I can talk. The Jungle Scout extension is that you can see with how often a particular item is selling potentially per month. That doesn't mean that that's what the sales are going to be for you. That's just what the sales are going to be on Amazon. So if the sales for this particular item are pretty high every single month, then if you got 1% of that number or 2% of that number or even 5% of that number, and the average might be anywhere from 0.5 to up to 5% of whatever the number is on Amazon, because Amazon is getting the most traffic. What can you do to try and get a certain percentage of conversion? So even if I got 1% or 5% of this particular number, I get 25 sales every single month based off of this particular item, 25 sales per month. And I don't know what the price is of the item. Maybe the item, your profit is $100. That's $2,500. So again, having data information to be able to make data-driven decisions doesn't hurt. So you could use the Jungle Scout estimator just to see how often a specific item is selling currently on Amazon, and then maybe take your 1% or 5% of that and see what you can do. Your goal is to get people off of Amazon into your store. So what is the avatar? Who are the people that are buying your product? What does your product do for them? How does your product save their life or improve their life or make their life, easier, make things easier? And then if you're able to find that avatar, you can count on, a certain percentage of whatever the number is the Jungle Scout is saying the estimated number of sales per month is for this particular item. Go for it. Same thing with Helium 10. They have a Chrome extension as well. So I don't have that here, but they do have a Chrome extension. All right. With that being said, I mentioned bundles earlier. One of my favorite things in the world is selling bundles. We have a whole bundles workshop, which is completely separate than this, but we're just going to talk high level. What are bundles and potentially how do you make them? The great thing about bundles is that you do have some apps that are inside of Shopify that will allow you to make virtual bundles, which is great. They will literally put the two listings together and showcase them so your customers can see them. You can also showcase them in your email marketing, which is so fantastic. And so a bundle is a combination of things that you can potentially sell for a higher price, that you will be selling for a higher price, that solves a problem for your customer. Your product solves a problem for the customer, but that is designed to somehow either improve, enhance, whatever their life, simplify things. An example would be when I go to the store, and people have to perceive that they're getting a great deal. Like, this is going to benefit me, and this is a great deal. Like, this is an irresistible offer for me. So an example is salt and pepper shakers. People normally go to the store. They don't typically buy a salt shaker without a pepper shaker in most cases. Maybe yours is glass and it got shattered, so you just need one. But in most cases, there's always two of these things, one for salt, one for pepper. That is a combination that is common. People gotta, they want to season their food. So they might buy a salt and pepper shaker because of the fact that they want to season their food, put it on the kitchen table. It's convenient. You can use it over and over again. Every time you go to a restaurant, there's always a salt and pepper shaker on the tables in most cases. So again, something that's going to make their life better, going to improve it, make it easier for them to do whatever. A multi-pack is multiples of the same thing. So again, I don't know what products that you're selling, but if you're selling dog treats, maybe you have in your Shopify store, you're going to offer, buy two, get two free, or maybe you have a listing where they have an option to buy a 2-pack, a 4-pack, a 6-pack, an 8-pack of whatever it is in dog treats that you're selling. It is going to simplify the person's life, the person that's buying this from you. It's going to simplify their life because they have to go to the store less. They have to order these less. So instead of ordering some every single week, maybe they order a month's supply, simplify their life, improve it. And in the meantime, you make a nice profit off of the fact that you're selling something either in bulk or you're selling them in a higher quantity so that it simplifies a person's life. I don't have to order these again. Okay. So one of the things we buy all the time, because my kids love bacon, is we buy bacon. We buy multiple packets of bacon. I'm not going to sell bacon on my Shopify store, but I'm just using the example of something that you buy over and over again. Toilet paper, stuff you buy over and over again, that might simplify the person's life. So when you're thinking about your listing, again, remember there are apps. So you might just start with, I'm listing products. Whatever those products are, I'm listing them separately or creating listings for them separately on Shopify. And then using maybe the apps that are available to help you create virtual bundles and keep track of your inventory numbers. But the bundle has to solve a problem, whether it's a bundle or multi-pack. You got to solve some type of problem, make things convenient for the customer. What is the customer's life or your avatar's life going to be like after they receive your item? Like, how is it going to improve or enhance their life or solve a problem for them? So I don't have to go to the store more frequently. So that's the problem that it solves. I just have to make sure I have space for it if I buy a bunch of dog treats. So category, again, if you have, probably collections is the better term here, because you're creating collections. So what collection would your potential bundle go under in your Shopify store? Or maybe you don't have a collection because again, you're going to create virtual. So you need to decide that. I mentioned before, Amazon frequently bought together. So when I go to Amazon Top 100, I will click on a specific product under Amazon Top 100, and I'm trying to figure out the sales rank for the item because, again, if it's moving well on Amazon, that means that there's an increased interest and or search for that particular item everywhere on the internet, and you want to be found. You want to be found, you want to be found, you want to be found. So I will also look at frequently bought together. I use that whole emergency roadside kit as an example. And then the big blaring bright light, something that you might sell together. You can sell those as separate items and then do a virtual bundle. But I'm going to go see what's happening on Amazon potentially, because there might be a different opportunity of products that I could be selling. So I use Amazon to make a lot of my business decisions. You don't have to. You can use other product research tools to make your business decisions, make business decisions. But you want to know what a product is doing and how often it's selling. Even if you buy tools like Helium-10, OA X-ray, Tactical Arbitrage, I'm trying to think of all of them. Ace Inspector Pro, like these are all tools. They are still going to be basing some of their results and information off of Amazon. That's just fact. They're going to play based off of Amazon. So go use the free tools. You might also look at Pinterest if you're doing bundles, virtual or physical. What are the products, what are some of the items that you see in combinations on Pinterest? So during the holidays, I did an exercise where we talked about slippers, like slippers for him, slippers for her. We saw some bundles on Pinterest that people had made, and they took pictures of them. They put up the list, put up the images of those amazing pictures. But it was like some slippers and maybe some a pumice stone and some type of lotion or cream, something for the cuticles, maybe a whole cuticle kit for your feet. So you're giving yourself a pedicure. So you got the little toe separator thing. Maybe you got the clear nail polish, whatever it happens to be. But it also had a pair of slippers of some type. So that's a whole kit. Maybe you can do two separate kits, one for lounging and one for a pedicure kit. But anyway, it was a kit. So I could see that on Pinterest and I saw how they put it together. So I could, as a seller, go to my wholesale supplier and find those things individually and have my fulfillment center put them together as a product and I list them on my store. This might be something that people buy for Mother's Day pedicure kits. Okay. So there are moms that, like to be pampered a little bit. So if that's the case, then I might also sell a bundle with a terry cloth robe and some slippers. So that's another kind of pampering myself. So we got the pedicure, then we got the terry cloth and the slippers. So that's type of relaxation. I might also buy a foot bath. And maybe the foot bath, I'm going to sell some essential oils and some foot salts. So again, that's another bundle. Well, you might see some of those combinations on Pinterest. And so I go to Pinterest for inspiration based off of the niche of what I'm trying to sell for. Okay. And then things that are naturally bought together, purchased together. I also mentioned Google Trends earlier. So using Google Trends to kind of do some research. Now on your title builder, you don't have to use the tool title builder because that's specifically for eBay. But what you can do is, again, see what keywords pop up based on what you type into the search engine and use that to your benefit to potentially create an amazing title for this bundle that you're about to create inside of your Shopify store or the products that you decide you're going to sell. So you got to know what kind of theme store you're going to have or what your niche is going to be for your store, what your focus is going to be, and then go from there. And then you also need to be thinking about how this thing is going to be shipped. So if you're doing drop shipping, like how it's going to be shipped, the thing that you need to put in your listing on your Shopify store is that these are shipped separately because drop shipping, they're not putting this stuff together for you. If you're ordering inventory from a wholesale supplier and sending it into your fulfillment center, again, you're asking your fulfillment center to make sure that they, to fulfill the orders as they make sure they have an integration so they can fulfill the orders as people buy it. That's one thing. You want to make sure that you keep in mind, like, how does this thing need to be shipped? How that might be something that is helpful in your listing. So a terry cloth robe with slippers, I'm probably going to put that in a poly bag if I was shipping it myself. I would want to make sure my fulfillment center is doing the same because I don't want this thing, if it gets wet, we're going into the rainy season in the next couple of months. I don't want this thing to get wet or destroyed by the rain. So I'm going to put it in maybe a poly bag, and that's how I'm going to ship it. If you have, if you're shipping it in a poly bag because your Shopify store is your business, make sure that all of your shipping supplies that are used, whether it's by you or your fulfillment center, has the appropriate tagging on it so you don't legally get in trouble if something were to happen when your item is received. Okay, so keep that in mind. So are you shipping it yourself? Are you having somebody else ship it? Are you doing a virtual? Okay. And then for me on the cost, I always try to make sure that my cost is actually 7 times the amount that I'm into for the particular item. But you can start off with 3 or 4 times plus, your estimated shipping. If you want to do free shipping, remember, what did you put on your store? Are you offering free shipping over $35? If so, is this item over $35? So you have to pad in some shipping costs. And I would estimate based on the furthest location what the shipping cost might be. And then compare similar bundles. Just search the internet for similar bundles. Does it make sense? So I've mentioned pedicure kit for Mother's Day. I mentioned the foot bath with the soaps, like a massage bath thing, bubbly, whatever. And then I also mentioned like the spa type of treatment, which is the slippers and the robe and anything else that goes with that, essential oils, blah, blah, blah. So branding is going to be whatever your brand is. I'm going to ignore part of this because some of this is all Amazon specific. And I am going to move on to actually creating that listing. So here's some examples. These are horrible pictures. Do not put these on your Shopify store. Not all of them. But make sure that the bundle combination makes sense. So these are examples of bundles, but This is a random. I would never sell anything that was so random that people can figure out what it is that you're selling. But if you decide, let's say you're going to do a Mother's Day pedicure kit, like making sure that the pictures are arranged, you can create some of these images without even taking pictures of your products at all. You can go grab those pictures on other sites to put together your bundle image together. Or you can take the pictures and just make sure that you have like a photo box and that you can clear the background. Some of the tools you can use to clear the background is like Photo Room. That's a very popular one right now. Clipping Magic, Bonanza Burner, Canva. You can clean the backgrounds of images using those types of tools if you want to clear background. If you don't want to clear background and you want to showcase the product in a setting, again, if you create a virtual, or if you create your own version of it using Photoshop or using Canva, then you can superimpose it into the environment where this particular item might show up. So in this example right here, this is a bag with napkins and plates and forks and spoons. So I might actually superimpose this particular image onto a tabletop in the kitchen. So it's a table or a counter, kitchen counter, where it's the kitchen counter and then the background, maybe it's a kitchen window. So showing the item in use, is that the thing that's going to stop the person who is looking for this particular item and say, I found what I'm looking for. I'm going to buy it from this particular Shopify store. They have to imagine this item in their possession, whatever it happens to be. So other things that you want to do is, I mentioned social media. You do want to share your listings out to other platforms so that you have the opportunity to, one, create backlinks back to your Shopify store. But two, definitely get more traction on your listing. And if you're using some of those apps, the apps can handle some of this, or they can help you with marketing on some of these other platforms. I mentioned hashtags. So if you're selling it out, listing it, sharing it out to social media, make sure that you include some hashtags and maybe some emojis that may help you. Your link that you share, when they click on the image, hopefully it's going to redirect them back to the store. So don't just upload an image and not make sure that it's clickable. If you paste the URL on most of the social media platforms, by default, it's going to display what's behind that URL. So grab the distinct URL for your products on your Shopify store. And then you can send your listings through what I call Ping Farm or Pingler. It also helps build backlinks to your store, or back to that particular item. So if people are interested in buying it, they'll be able to see those backlinks. They'll be shared all over the internet. What I will say is, when you add a new product and after you've tweaked it, definitely run that distinct URL for that product through Pingler or Ping Farm so you can get some traffic to your store organically. And then product research for your products. AliExpress is a common one. You want to check to see if it's shipped in the US, because there's a lot, because of the pandemic, a significant number of sellers from China have purchased warehouses in the US where they're shipping inventory over here and just storing it over here. Okay. So Alibaba, AliExpress, great way to find suppliers. If you want to automate the importing of products to your store, so you can source by logging into your Oberlo account, your Dropify account, or your Spocket, not Sprocket, but there's no R. You can log into those accounts and see what products you want to import into your store. Okay, so they have that feature. And then you also have print-on-demand suppliers that you can work with. So again, what is your type of store? Are you going to sell a combination of physical products and print-on-demand? So how are you going to make that work? Wholesale. You should establish a few wholesale accounts. I always encourage people to open one new wholesale account per week. So when you get the wholesale account, make sure you get the catalog so you can go through it and kind of figure out, okay, can I use any of this in my store? Can I sell any of these products in my store? Yes or no? Can I order them from this wholesale supplier and still have a profit margin? Okay. So we have a list of, hot niches. We've talked about niches before when we were talking through niches. So You can come back and look at this list and see if any of this helps you. So the one thing about sourcing or listing, don't limit yourself to the same products over and over. Well, okay, so that's with a caveat. When you're selling retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, definitely don't do that. If you are doing Shopify, depending on the type of store that you're selling, again, what is the type of store? Are you focused on a niche? Are you more general? What are you doing? And so if you're focused on a niche, if your niche is tiny dogs that breed, then I would sell the same products over and over again. Okay. I might make sure I have a backup supplier for them. I might also look at opportunities if it exists to white label them. So that way you begin the process of branding. So it depends on what it is that you're selling as to whether or not you limit yourself to the same product over and over again. Always do your research before offering a product and before selling a product. Always, always, always. Research your competitors. That's the first thing that I said in session 1 is we're going to actually go look at their Shopify stores, kind of get some ideas of how to lay out the store, but also pay attention to some of the products that they're selling. If there is a Shopify store that's been around for a while, there's a reason why they're selling those products. Those could be the products that are moving the most. Okay. You can create an additional store if you want to. Just remember, each additional store that you create within Shopify, you're going to pay for that monthly subscription. So always start at the lowest level. Sell internationally. I don't know what your plan is, long-term, bigger picture. If you decide you're going to sell internationally, make sure you have a plan for dealing with returns. Where's this product going to go if there's a return? So, is it going to go to your fulfillment center? Is it going to go somewhere else? Is it going to come back to you? How are people going to get that product back to you? When you build out your shipping policy and your return policy and all that stuff, then are you paying for international, people to return their particular item? And you're also refunding them, or how is that going to work? What's your refund policy and your return policy? You can also develop new products. So developing bundles or creating, when I say develop new products, like it takes a while to completely develop a new product. But if you have existing products available to you, this is another opportunity to create bundles. So for the holidays, as we go into each one of the holidays, I'm going to be mindful of that. If I'm going to go ahead and create new listings, when am I going to create them? Maybe at the beginning of the week, and of each week, put those listings up. So where am I sourcing from? What kind of research am I doing for sourcing? Maybe I'm Googling some of the Amazon top 100. So I have one of those products. And if I'm sticking with my whole automotive thing, I'll maybe pick one of those products and add something else to it because it's a product that's already moving on the internet. It's already selling on the internet. So keep that in mind for your sourcing. You can also source wholesale, of course, private label, liquidation. Don't forget liquidation. There's a lot of stuff out here in liquidation right now that you could potentially sell on your stores. So whatever your niche is, go see if there's some liquidation pallets that will give you some inventory immediately. Look at store closing. Liquidation is going to have those as well. So just if you're going to sell those products, great. When you're on some of these other sites like Alibaba and AliExpress, like look up the clearance. So if I was doing automotive, is there a bunch of clearance out there on Alibaba and AliExpress or discounted marked down pricing for some products that I can grab really easily and put in my store or import into my store? Handmade products, always a great one to sell inside your Shopify store. We talked about drop shipping and some of the integration tools. The main three are Spocket, Burlo, Shopify. Again, if you integrate those with your Shopify store, it makes your life a little bit easier as far as creating listings. And then you can use that information to also help you build virtual bundles based off of those images. You can do product research, of course, on other sourcing research on other existing platforms like Amazon and eBay and Etsy. There is no Y on Etsy. Trade shows, another one to go to. kind of look at for potential sourcing. If you go to a trade show, ask them what integrations they have with Shopify. Okay. Product sourcing companies. There are companies that just do product sourcing in those directories. You can go Google the White Label Expo. That's another great one. And then, of course, Alibaba and AliExpress. There's a lot of inventory there that you can potentially source or buy as part of your strategy to sell products on your Shopify store. So I hope this was helpful. We are actually going to do a review next week of your store. Hopefully you have your store ready, because that is week 7. Week 7. Make some decisions this week around your apps. Make some decisions about your store. Fine-tune, finalize your store. If you haven't finalized your store, if you just have your Play Store that you've been playing with, what is your store going to be? What is the niche going to be? Finalize that, figure it out, and then go from there. So I hope this information is helpful. I hope that it helps you make some decisions in your business. We want to see those stores next week. So let's see your store. Let's finish it out. Go back and watch the recordings for sessions 1, or 2, 3, for sure, and 4. Let's finalize that store setup. Let's make sure we've got all of our policies set up, all of our preferences updated, our checkout, all of that. And let's get that store live, or let's work through any issues that you're having with your store so that it can go live. Okay, so let me go backwards. Can use AliExpress for shipping bundles. Yeah, you can make virtual bundles using AliExpress. So if you're integrating with, it works really well if you have, like I have Dropify, but or Burlo, Spocket, any of those. You can definitely make virtual bundles using that tool, and you can install one of the Shopify apps for bundles. So I go over here, figure out which one of these apps. So do your research first before you choose one, and decide which one of these is going to be best for you. Then install it and test it. And so if you've imported those products from AliExpress using your tool, your integration that you have with Burlo or Dropify, and that's also attached or integrated to your store, then yes, you can create virtual bundles. You just need to make sure in the listing that you're indicating that they are shipped separately. That's the key. Make sure that you indicate that they are shipped separately or whatever. If they have to put it together, if they have to build it or create it, then you want to indicate that assembly is required, that kind of stuff. So another like amazing bundle is like dining room table sets. So you got a coffee table and 2 end tables. That's clearly a bundle. Or including lamps. That's another bundle. If you include the sofa, that you're like all those things. And so if you're listing those separately from a specific supplier, you decide you want to sell the big stuff, and then you want to sell the sofa, you can literally create a virtual bundle of all of those items and then indicate if they're not coming from the same source, that they will be shipped separately. All right. Well, I hope this is helpful. Next week, I want to see some stores. We want to walk through your stores. Bring your store issues or questions. If you have questions before then, we have a live Q&A at 3:00, so you're always welcome to join us. If you have any questions, join there. That's for sure. And we will see you next week. So please have your stores ready so we can troubleshoot any issues that you're having. What's the link for that? For the live Q&A? The live Q&A was sent in your original email, but I think I have it on the end here. Just make sure. I will send you the link. Let me go over to one of my groups. I'll put it in the chat. I have a lot of questions. Sorry. There's a lot here. The news, always something. Group has it. If you can't find it in your email, you can find it. Whoops, wrong one. Come on. Here it is. Okay. I have it tagged at the top, so that's why it's just easier. Copy, copy, copy. You didn't get an email with that link. So your initial email, once you registered or purchased the whatever the course is, so Shopify, it's included in the email. Sorry, I did not put that to everyone. Hold on, let me send it again. There we go. It's included in that initial welcome email that says, hey, step 1, go create your account. Step 2, when you log in, your membership recordings will be in there. Step 3, something else. Step 4, here's the link to the Q&A sessions. The Q&A sessions on Saturdays at this time. So it's in there in that first email. So you would have received it. If you are a person that bought the Shopify course last year, it would have been in last year's email or this one. So yeah, there you go. Feel free to join us at 3:00 and ask your questions. Let's look at your store, or we can do it in the live session next week. And we're going to do a recap of all of the setup. And then we'll have session 7 on March the 5th, I think. All right. Are there any questions I can answer right now that you want answered that we can go through? If there are, you can type them in the chat. It is 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, so that's 4 p.m. Eastern. Normally it's 2, but the other class is so close, meaning the timing is so close, so it has to be moved out to 3. Any questions I can answer? I am happy to answer questions now. Okay, join at 3:00 Central Standard Time. Come with your questions. And next week, we are going to look at some stores. We'll look at my store. Again, we'll step through how we created the store and the setup, and we'll make sure that you got everything that you need because we want the store to go live, right? We want some live stores. Okay, we'll say goodbye for now.